By the time most people realize their skin has changed, they've already spent hundreds of dollars on the wrong thing. I'm Dr. Claire Bennett, a board-certified dermatologist, and I've spent more than 20 years helping people understand their skin. Welcome back. Here's what I see constantly. Someone in her late 60s walks into a health food store, picks up a collagen powder because the label looks clean and the jar is pretty, and she spends $40 or $50 on something that may not do a single thing for her skin. Not because collagen supplements don't work. They can. The research on this is genuinely impressive. But because not all collagen supplements are built the same way, and the differences that matter most are the ones nobody explains at the point of sale, so today I'm going to fix that. I'm going to walk you through exactly what separates a collagen supplement that actually supports your skin from one that's essentially expensive protein powder. And I'm going to tell you what I personally look for based on years of reading the clinical literature on this. Before we go further, I want to ask you something. How old are you right now? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, and it helps me make sure I'm giving you the most relevant information for where your skin actually is. Now, I want to be honest with you up front. You are not going to find one product that works identically for every person. Skin is individual, results vary. What I can do is give you a clear, evidence-informed framework so that when you pick something, you're choosing with your eyes open rather than guessing. That's worth more than any one recommendation I could make. Let's start with the foundation, because if you skip this part, nothing else I say will make sense. Number 7 on our list, and yes, we're counting down, is understanding what you're actually swallowing when you take a collagen supplement. Most people assume that when you take a collagen powder, the collagen travels from your stomach to your skin in one clean journey. That's not how it works. The digestive system is designed to break proteins apart. A full collagen molecule would never survive intact. What good collagen supplements contain instead are hydrolyzed collagen peptides, which are fragments of the larger collagen protein that have already been broken down into smaller pieces. These fragments are small enough to be absorbed through the gut wall, enter the bloodstream, and travel to tissues like skin, joints, and nails, where the body can reassemble them into new collagen structures. Think of it this way. A full collagen molecule is like a piece of furniture that's too large to fit through the front door. Hydrolyzed peptides are the flat pack version, already broken into parts you can carry inside and put together once you're in the room. Studies comparing different peptide sizes and structures consistently show that the body does use these fragments as both raw material and signaling cues. When collagen peptides arrive at the dermal layer of your skin, they appear to signal fibroblasts, the cells that manufacture collagen, to increase production. It's not just a supply story, it's a communication story. This matters because it immediately rules out one of the most common questions I get, which is whether you can just eat more protein and get the same result. Protein in general doesn't carry the same signaling specificity. The collagen peptides seem to trigger a particular response that general dietary protein does not. Now, there is an important caveat here, and this is the part the label leaves out. Your body also needs certain cofactors to actually build new collagen once those peptides arrive. Vitamin C is the most important one. Without adequate vitamin C, the enzymatic process that cross-links collagen fibers cannot complete properly. You can have every building block in place, but without the right helper molecules, the construction stalls. This is why a good collagen supplement will often include vitamin C, and it's also why a diet that's very low in fresh produce can undermine your results even if you're taking a quality supplement every day. Stay with me, because the next point is where things start to get meaningfully different between products on the shelf. Number 6. Not all peptides are equivalent, and the source of your collagen matters more than the number of grams on the label. This is the piece of information I wish more people had before they started shopping. Here's the honest truth. 5 grams of collagen in one product is not the same as 5 grams of collagen in another product. The potency, the peptide profile, and the bioactivity can vary substantially depending on how the collagen was sourced and how it was processed. There are 2 main animal sources used in commercial collagen supplements, bovine and marine. Bovine collagen is derived from cattle hides and connective tissue. Marine collagen comes primarily from fish, skin, and scales. Both have genuine supporting research. Some studies suggest bovine collagen has slightly higher bioavailability for human skin tissue, though the difference is not dramatic. What matters more than the species is what happens after the raw material is collected. If you're looking at a bovine source, the quality of the animal's life and diet affects the quality of the collagen. Grass-fed cattle, raised without unnecessary hormones or antibiotics, produce a cleaner source material. If you're looking at marine collagen, wild-caught fish are generally preferable to farmed, and you'll want to see evidence of testing for heavy metal content because fish can accumulate metals from their environment. The processing method also matters. The cleanest approach involves using enzymes to break the collagen protein into peptides without chemical solvents. A brand that is genuinely transparent about its sourcing will be able to tell you not just where the animals come from, but how the extraction was done. And this brings me to a practical piece of advice. Look for brands that conduct third-party testing. That means an independent laboratory, separate from the company, regularly tests the finished product for contaminants, including pesticides, heavy metals like lead, and residual antibiotics. A brand that does this and posts the results is a brand that's confident in what it's selling you. A brand that doesn't mention third-party testing at all is asking you to take their word for it. I know this all sounds like a lot of work before buying a supplement, but you're going to be taking this every day, and you deserve to know what's in it. Number 5. The amount you take is not as simple as more equals better. If someone has been reading health content online for any amount of time, they've absorbed the idea that dosage is everything. With collagen supplements, the picture is more complicated than that. The research that I find most compelling involves a specific type of bioactive collagen peptide that has been studied in several well-designed clinical trials, including randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled studies. That's the gold standard format in clinical research. These studies use relatively modest doses in the range of 2.5 to 5 grams per day and found meaningful improvements in skin elasticity, hydration, and reduction of fine lines after roughly 4 to 8 weeks of consistent use. What's interesting is that the clinical results at 2.5 grams were not dramatically inferior to those at 5 grams. There appears to be a threshold of effect, after which additional grams don't produce proportionally better outcomes. This is relevant because some products on the market advertise 10, 15, or even 20 grams per serving as if more is automatically more effective. When those products use a standard peptide blend rather than a concentrated bioactive form, they may need higher doses to achieve a similar effect. But a more concentrated, clinically studied peptide formulation can deliver meaningful results at lower quantities. The practical implication is this. When you're comparing products, you cannot judge them on gram count alone. A product with 5 grams of a highly bioactive, well-studied peptide type is not automatically inferior to a product with 15 grams of a generic blend. They are simply different things. Consistency matters far more than dose maximization. Taking 2.5 grams every single day for 8 weeks will likely outperform taking 10 grams sporadically because you ran out or forgot or it tasted terrible. This is the dermatology principle I come back to again and again. Consistent beats aggressive every single time. If this is helping you think more clearly about what you've been buying or about to buy, tap like and consider subscribing so you don't miss the follow-up content I'm building around collagen and skin nutrition for mature skin. Number 4. What else is in the product matters as much as the collagen itself. This is the block I call the ingredient audit, and it's the one most people skip entirely because the marketing on the front of the package is designed to distract you from the ingredient list on the back. Added sugar is the first thing I look for, and if I find it, I put the product back immediately. Sugar is not inert when it comes to skin aging. A consistent dietary sugar load contributes to a process called glycation, where sugar molecules attach to collagen fibers and make them stiff and brittle. If you're taking collagen to rebuild the suppleness of your skin while simultaneously feeding it a daily sugar hit, you're working against yourself in a very direct biochemical way. The supplement should have 0 added sugar. A small amount of a natural low-glycemic sweetener like monk fruit or stevia for flavoring is generally fine. Vitamin C, as I mentioned earlier, should ideally be present or at least accounted for in your daily diet. Some high-quality supplements include a bioavailable form of vitamin C, specifically because they understand that the peptides need that cofactor to do their job effectively. Hyaluronic acid is appearing in more collagen supplements now, and there is some preliminary evidence suggesting that oral hyaluronic acid can support skin hydration and may enhance the environment in which new collagen is formed. The research here is less extensive than the collagen peptide literature, but it's not implausible, and I don't consider it a negative addition if it's included at a reasonable dose. What I'm more cautious about is supplements that pile in ingredient after ingredient without clear evidence for each one. A collagen supplement that also contains adaptogens, exotic herbs, multiple botanical extracts, and proprietary blends is harder to evaluate, and if something disagrees with you, it's very difficult to identify what caused the problem. Simpler formulations are easier to trust. The practical rule I use: I want to be able to read every ingredient on the label and explain what it does. If there's something I can't account for, I want to understand why it's there before I commit to taking it daily. Number 3, and this is the one I want you to hold on to. The form matters, powder versus capsule, and how you take it. This sounds like a detail. It's not. Absorption and consistency are both affected by how you actually get the supplement into your body. Capsules are convenient, but the dose in a capsule is almost always lower than what the clinical studies used. Fitting 2.5 to 5 grams of collagen peptides into a capsule requires a very large capsule or several of them per serving. Many people find that taking 4 or 5 capsules a day feels like a medical intervention rather than a wellness habit, and they stop doing it within a few weeks. Consistency disappears, and so do the results. Powder forms allow for higher, more clinically relevant doses in a single serving, and they dissolve into whatever you're already drinking. Unflavored versions mix well into hot coffee or tea, where any residual taste is masked. Flavored versions mix well with cold water, though I'd encourage you to look for a flavored version that uses natural sweeteners only and has no artificial colors or flavors. One thing nobody tells you, collagen powder has a tendency to clump if you just stir it. A small battery-powered frother, the kind that costs almost nothing and lives in your kitchen drawer, solves this completely. A few seconds of frothing and the powder integrates fully into your drink with no texture issues. The other dimension here is timing. There is no universally agreed upon best time to take collagen supplements. Some researchers suggest that taking collagen peptides with vitamin C present, either in the supplement itself or in a small glass of orange juice, may optimize the collagen synthesis process. Taking it in the morning with your coffee or with a morning beverage that contains some vitamin C is a reasonable and sustainable habit. What I don't recommend is taking it in a rush, dry, without adequate liquid, or skipping days because the routine doesn't fit your life. Build it into something you already do every morning, and you will not have to rely on willpower to stay consistent. Number 2, the one I want you to hear carefully, because this is where well-intentioned people make an expensive mistake. Not every skin change that looks like it needs collagen actually needs collagen first. I say this not to discourage you from taking collagen supplements, because I think they are a genuinely useful tool for mature skin that is backed by real clinical data. I say it because I have seen people spend significant money on supplements while continuing habits that actively degrade their skin's ability to use any collagen their body is building. Unprotected sun exposure is the single most powerful driver of collagen breakdown in aging skin. The mechanism is direct. Ultraviolet radiation activates enzymes called matrix metalloproteinases that specifically degrade collagen fibers. If you are supplementing collagen peptides in the morning and then spending 3 hours in the garden without broad-spectrum sun protection, the math is not working in your favor. Cigarette smoking is another major driver of collagen degradation, through a different mechanism involving oxidative damage and reduced oxygen delivery to skin tissue. Chronic low-grade dehydration is subtler, but the skin is one of the last organs to receive water when your body is managing fluid distribution, which means that many people your age who feel adequately hydrated are nonetheless running their skin cells on reduced moisture reserves. The point is not that collagen supplements are futile if you're doing these things. The point is that a supplement works best when the environment it's working in is not actively undermining it. Sunscreen is not optional if you care about your skin's collagen levels, full stop. It is the most important topical intervention available to you, more powerful in the long run than any cream you will ever buy at any price point. Take someone in her late 60s who has been fastidious about a moisturizing routine but hasn't thought much about daily sun protection on her hands and forearms, the exposed skin she sees every time she reaches for something. The spots that appear on the backs of her hands are not a collagen deficiency problem alone. They are primarily a cumulative ultraviolet damage story. A collagen supplement will support her skin structure, but without addressing the ongoing UV exposure, the best supplement in the world is fighting with one hand tied. This is not about blame. You didn't cause this by being careless. Nobody told you to think about your hands the same way you think about your face. Most sun protection advice for decades focused on the face and forgot everything else. But now you know, and knowing changes what you can do about it. And now we reach the top of the list. Number 1. The single most important criterion for choosing a collagen supplement, and it's not the one on the front of the label. The most important factor is the clinical evidence behind the specific peptide technology in the product you're holding. There is a category of collagen supplement that contains what researchers call bioactive collagen peptides. These are not simply hydrolyzed collagen in the generic sense. They are specific peptide sequences derived from collagen that have been isolated and studied in their own right for their effects on skin tissue. The research behind the most studied formulations of this type includes randomized controlled trials showing measurable improvements in skin elasticity after roughly 4 weeks of consistent daily use, improvements in skin hydration, and reductions in the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, with results replicated across multiple independent research groups. The reason this matters is that when a supplement company conducts this level of research on a specific formulation and has those results independently replicated, you are no longer buying a category claim. You are buying evidence for that particular product. The difference between collagen supplements are good for skin and this specific peptide profile at this dose showed these results in a double-blind trial is the difference between marketing and medicine. What I look for when I evaluate a collagen product is whether the company can point me to peer-reviewed, published research on the specific collagen ingredient they use, not just general collagen research. The ingredient, at the dose they include, studied in the population most relevant to me. When I find that, I take it seriously. When I don't find it, I treat the product as an untested assumption dressed up in clean packaging. The second thing I look for is whether the peptide source can be traced to a known supplier with a documented manufacturing process. Some of the most rigorously studied collagen peptide ingredients are produced by a small number of specialized manufacturers in Europe and elsewhere, and their technology is licensed by supplement brands. Knowing that a product's collagen comes from one of these verified, well-studied sources gives me considerably more confidence than a brand that manufactures its own collagen without a published process. Here is how I'd suggest you use all of this. Choose one product that meets the sourcing and transparency criteria. Check that it uses a clinically studied peptide type at a relevant dose. Confirm it has no added sugar and a clean ingredient list. Take it every single morning for 4 weeks without skipping. Keep sunscreen on your hands and any regularly exposed skin every day during that period. Then evaluate what you see, not in a week. 4 weeks minimum, and ideally 8. You do not need to do everything at once. You do not need the most expensive product on the market to get meaningful results. You need something clean, something studied, something you will actually take consistently. Slow and steady is how skin change actually works, because your skin is not a surface you're painting. It's a living organ running a biological process that takes time. So let me leave you with a question. Which step are you starting with? Are you auditing the product you already have, or are you starting fresh with what you learned today? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, and I want to know where you are in this process. If this gave you something useful, tap like, and if you're not subscribed yet, now is a good time. I cover skin health for mature skin every week, with the same honesty you got today. Be gentle with your skin, and be gentle with yourself. I'll see you next time.